to the All Shows Nigerian channel, where I review Nollywood movies, series, and reality TV shows. As you can tell, we have a different background going on today. I'm sure you're seeing something like a reflection. It's just the light, like there's a chandelier here, so just ignore that. Act like it's part of the vibe because it's actually given. I don't know what this lighting is doing to me, but it's definitely given. Well, anyways, aside from that, like I said, this is the All Shows Nigerian channel where I review Nollywood movies, series, and reality TV shows. Today, I will be reviewing the fifth, sixth, and seventh episodes of the Netflix African reality show titled Young, Famous, and African. Like you guys already know, my subscribers, you know that I've been reviewing this particular reality show for a while, and I recently started their season 2 that just came out a few months ago, and thankfully we're rounding up with the reviews. Like after this particular video, I'm guessing one more video is going to come out, which will be the last 2 episodes of the season. But yeah, thank you guys so much for like the continuous support. Like you guys have been watching all the videos pertaining to this particular show, and you guys have really been watching this one. Like I feel like out of all the reviews I do, anytime I post anything about Young, Famous, and African, you guys always clock in, so I really appreciate that. If you're a new subscriber, hi, welcome to the channel. So happy to see so happy to have you guys. Thank you so much for clicking this video, and I hope I do not disappoint you at the end. All right, so I know that me reviewing 3 particular episodes in one is overly ambitious of me, I know, but hopefully we can get this video like moving and not too long at the same time. So I'm going to start with episode 5, and also I just want to give a disclaimer that I'm just going to talk about things that were important in the episodes, because I feel like there were a few filler scenes that I don't really need to deal with. Like, yeah, we'll talk about the main stuff. All right, so episode 5 starts off with continues off with the bonfire meetup that Fantana, Bonang, Swanky, Louis, and Zari were having in the previous episode, where like Bonang left. So after Bonang leaves, or while she's leaving, she actually makes a very I don't know whether to call it racist comment about Louis' country, Namibia, basically saying, oh, he should return to the desert that is in Namibia. And I'm like, girl, like, keep your insults to the person. You don't need to insult a whole like country. What did Namibia do to you? Why are you dragging Namibia into this conversation? And considering that a few episodes ago you were bragging and talking about how, oh, you were in Namibia 2 weeks ago or whatever, and you had the best time, Namibia is a great place, and all of a sudden now Namibia is a jungle. Girl, please. But anyways, once Bonang leaves, Swanky starts gaslighting Louis, saying he doesn't sound sincere in his apology, that, oh, he should apologize with sincerity in his mouth. And I'm like,
first of all, he shouldn't even be apologizing. You are the one that twisted the story. You are the reason why your friend is upset now. So stop blaming it on him. If anything, you are the one that is supposed to be apologizing. He shouldn't be apologizing. You're the one that created this mess, and now you're making the guy seem like he's the bad guy.
and I really hated seeing that. It was honestly very triggering for me, because one thing I hate, like I always say in this channel, is liars. I hate liars. Like, why would you lie? Why are you lying? Why? So yeah, he kept gaslighting Louis. Obviously the others, the Zari and Fantana, yes, they were not necessarily sure if Louis was telling the truth. However, they did feel like Swanky was doing a bit too much, and I definitely agree. But anyways, in the next scene, Zari meets up with Louis to listen to his side of the story. Louis explains the whole situation again to Zari, and Zari notices that his story is still the same. Like, he doesn't change anything. His story of how he met Bonang is still the same. Nothing has changed. So he can't be lying. He can't be the one lying. But again, she just knew this guy. She's known Swanky for a while, so she's still not sure what to believe. But she still has a feeling like Louis is telling the truth. After hearing his side, Zari then asks if Louis is open to, having a sit down in the future with Bonang and actually hash it out just like he did with her. But Louis is like, nope, I don't want to talk to that girl. I would have cursed, but I don't want to curse in my channel. Like, I don't want to talk to this girl. I don't want to have anything to do with her. And honestly, I see his side. Like, she's so much drama. Everybody was hyping this chick when they were like, oh, she's gonna be in the channel. And ever since she's been on my channel, or ever she's been on our channel, sorry, ever since she's been on our channel, she has been absolute chaos. I feel like she acts like she's above them, like they're supposed to like
pave way for her, leave a red carpet for her, or something like that. And I'm like, girl, all of you are the same in this. At the end of the day, in this show, so mellow down.
But anyways, Louis doesn't want to have any type of sit down or form of sit down with Bonang, and they leave the conversation like that. In the next scene, Swanky finally meets up with one on one with Annie to squash their beef, and obviously, like you guess, things get heated. Annie doesn't want to get into the details of their fallout. Meanwhile, Swanky wants Annie to take accountability for her actions, and then it soon becomes a competition of who is more famous and who is fame drunk. And I'm like, in this particular scenario, in this particular like case, I honestly was siding with Swanky because thankfully Swanky's storyline was still the same with this whole what happened between me and Annie. Like, oh, I overheard a conversation you were having with one of our close friends, and I was in the three-way call, and you didn't know I was in the three-way call, and you were bashing me, blah blah blah. Like, take accountability for that. And Annie,
He's like, no, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I just want to let it go. We don't have to be discussing this. Swanky, you should know me better. Blah 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 blah. No accountability.
so I definitely see his side. I feel like she should have just apologized, like owned up to what she did, rather than just trying to divert and like tell him like, oh, he knows her, he knows her. Well, clearly he don't know you, and you be acting like two faced, because why would you be talking about your friend like that? First of all, whether he can hear you or not. So yeah, their whole dynamic, I don't really get it. Sha, at the end of the day, Annie gives a fake apology. Clearly, she doesn't mean it, and Swanky semi accepts it. But it's definitely obvious that trust on both sides is completely broken. In the next scene, Nadia meets up with Kanye, Louis, and Quentin to talk about Two Face's absurd statement about men cheating in their previous dinner. I don't, I don't even know what to say about this particular scenario. Like in my previous review, I told you like Andile was making it seem like Kanye was the that Nadia was the one like fueling what Two Face was saying, and I don't believe that. If anything, I feel like um Nadia was trying to make him like, you know, trying to get clarity from what he's saying. Like, okay, what do you mean? Is this like what you believe as a man, or is that you just speaking on behalf of all men? But like, bro just kept digging his hole. Like, he just kept digging the hole, and he just couldn't get it. Like, he's just dumb. I don't understand. But anyways, Kanye is shocked that Two Face said a statement like that, and Quentin agrees that Two Face shouldn't have made such a statement, but feels like Nadia was also acting as a catalyst in the already messy situation. I don't think so. I feel like if I was in a situation like that too, I would want to get to the bottom of it. I would ask those questions, to be honest. Like, I don't see anything wrong with what Nadia did at that moment. Some of you will probably feel like she was being nosy. She didn't need to be poking him like that, but no, she needed to poke him like that. Men like that, you need to know what's going through their head. You really do need to know what's going through their head. And unfortunately, Annie is not seeing this nonsense for what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. Nadia is free to have her opinions and ask whatever questions she wants. If Two Face didn't want to answer the questions, he could have kept his mouth shut. But bro wanted to prove himself more and more, and bro, you just kept digging your hole deeper and deeper at the end of the day. But yeah, that's pretty much what went down there. In the next scene, Louis goes on to talk about his issue with Bonang, and they are still shocked by his revelation, like about what happened, how Bonang blew up, and whatever, everything that she said. Kanye blames Swanky and feels like he is the reason why the entire situation got blown out of proportion in the first place. And like I said, I agree. Swanky is the common denominator in the nonsense that has been going on in this group. He's the one that is lying, but unfortunately, nobody wants to call him out on his lies. So, anyways, in the next scene, Kaylee and Quentin host a polo event for the group, and during the course of the event, Fantana and Zari get into it, and Fantana soon blots out that what Diamond told her, which is that Zari is thinking of undergoing a surrogacy process with Diamond. Like, she wants him to be her sperm donor. And this revelation obviously shocks Zari, and before you know it, the two of them start exchanging words. Zari is like, "Where did you hear that from? Diamond would never tell you that. This is this, da da da." And Fantana is like,
Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah, he did. Da, 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 da. Like yeah, it's just back and forth, back and forth,
back and forth. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about that whole situation. I just feel like it's just a messy situation. Fantana had no business saying what Diamond confided in her with. Diamond shouldn't even have said what he said, like tell Fantana such a huge secret or whatever that him and Zari were like planning to do. So yeah, I just feel like it was so messy for Diamond to tell her and Fantana to tell it back. It's like she was trying to do tit for tat, like oh she had a chip on her shoulder and she was very ready to like use it as soon as Zari got under her skin, and that's clearly what happened. So women being petty. But anyways, Swanky pulls Nadia to the side and gists her about his meetup with Annie and how he felt her apology wasn't sincere. Um, in the next scene, Louis also pulls Fantana to the side and apologizes for the way his words came across during the bonfire event. Fantana accepts the apology and urges him to have a conversation with Bonang as well. But Louis isn't open to the idea but agrees to think about it. Um, Fantana, why does your reconciliation with Louis have to revolve around other people? Why can't you make decisions for yourself? Why can't you feel for yourself? Why can't you react for yourself? Why does someone always have to be involved? Why does a friend of yours have to always be involved? Like, why can't you handle situations on your own? That's my problem with the Fantana chick. She acts like she's this independent boss, but there's nothing independent about you. Like, all your fights have to bring people in. It's like you can't say your true feelings about situations because oh you want to be a ride or die friend for someone even when that friend is not being like reasonable at the moment, and it's just very frustrating watching her because honestly she could have just made up with Louis and not brought Bonang into the conversation. Louis and Bonang's situation is separate from what you and um Louis are talking about right now. And like I said, Louis owes Bonang no explanation, no apology, nothing. He has apologized before. She obviously decided not to believe his apology or his story. So, what's the point of beating a dead horse? At this point, the whole situation is overstretched and they should honestly stop talking about it. Um, Also, I want to say the thing that Louis said about Fantana, like if you guys remember in the previous episode, was that oh he doesn't want her to be known as Diamond's side chick rather than rather she wants her to be known for her music. And I agree with that because why would you want to be known in a bad light when you could be known in a good light? Like that's just what he was trying to say. I don't know why they made it seem like oh he was being misogynistic, he was trying to like dictate what she should do, this is this da, da, da. I don't know, like people in this show are just very narrow minded. Like I don't understand how did that mean he was trying to be misogynistic and dictate what she's supposed to do with her life. He's just looking out for her. And you guys are also going to see later on in this review why I feel like he even said something like that to her. But anyways, in the next scene, Swanky organizes a gin making session for the group, and during the course of the event, he makes an announcement saying that Bonang decided to leave the group chat, which is basically leave their group setting, and not film with them anymore, and feels that everyone was ganging up against her or upon her from the very beginning that she stepped into the the scene. The news obviously doesn't phase anyone because they clearly don't really care about her at this point, and they all start leaning towards Louis' side instead regarding his situation with Bonang. This clearly annoys Swanky, and soon enough he takes out his frustration on Louis and starts to say that once again they are antagonizing Bonang, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. I don't know why he's upset, first of all, that they did not have a reaction. Half of the cast don't have a relationship with Bonang, they have beef with Bonang. So why are you shocked that your revelation or your news didn't have any type of reaction? They didn't have any reaction for it. Like they're not friends with her. You are the one that's her friend. So why are you on edge? Like why are you just like a ticking bomb waiting to like explode on everybody? I feel like he's just been very off since the beginning of this season, and it's just not a good look, honestly. He's just looking like someone that is just frustrated, taking out aggression everywhere, like anywhere he sees is like he's just picking at people, like picking at situations, and yeah, it, I don't really care for it. But anyways, that's where the episode ends. This episode, I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. It was okay. It was filled with drama. It was drama filled, but hopefully they do better in the episodes to come. So yeah, I'm going to jump into episode 6 now. Comment down below what you guys think so far. If you have any opinions on what I've said, please, I'd love to read your comments at the end of this video. And yeah, let's hop into the sixth episode. So like I said in the beginning, I'm going to skip it over some things that were, you know, not really important in this episode and just talk about the main parts. So, anyways, the episode continues with Swanky obviously screaming and defending his friend Bonang at the event. His friends feel like he's spiraling and acting out without even thinking, and I agree with them. The guy is just on 10 when the conversation is literally a -1. Like, why are you already on 10? Why? But, anyways, Louis pulls Kanye to the side after like the whole spiral of Swanky, and she asks for her advice on how to approach Zari about both of them researching on the process of surrogacy. Since earlier on she had mentioned that she was thinking of doing it or partnering together to be donors for each other. So basically, Louis was asking for Kanye's advice on how he should approach the situation. Like, should he ask Zari if she can involve him in the process of like trying to find, a donor or whatever, or like learn more about surrogacy, or should he approach her and ask her if she would like to be his egg donor? Low key, yes, is this a bit strange? The second aspect, like I understand the part of okay asking to um be a part of her process, like you both learning like what it entails to deal with do surrogacy and whatever. But second part of like asking her for eggs, I can understand how that would come off weirdly. But I don't think Louis meant it in a malicious way or in a weird way or in a creepy way. But yeah, Kanye took it that way. Like, what is this guy talking about? And right, I can see how she would take that kind of conversation because number one, why are you asking me such and all that? But I just feel like maybe Louis felt like because she's the one that introduced him to this group of women and men, that maybe she's the best person to like ask this kind of thing. But little did he know, Kanye is a pot stirrer, but we'll get into that soon. But anyways, Kanye is shocked at this revelation and a bit uncomfortable by it as well, but she listens to him anyways and doesn't necessarily give her thoughts, but like just listens. In the next scene, Andile meets up with Annie and Two-Face alongside one of his baby mamas, whose name is Sebato. Sebabato, I think that's her name. So sorry if I butchered this name. I think it's Sebabato. We're introduced to Sebabato. She's a very, very pretty woman. They seem to be very good co-parents and seem to adore each other and have a great chemistry. Two Faces then asked during their conversation how he knew that Annie was the one for him, like how he knew he was going to marry Annie, and his answer was he bought a large house, seemed lonely in the big house, and then messaged her like, "Hey, you want to move in with me?" And that was it. That was Two Faces' answer to such a question. Not that his wife is smart, not that his wife is intelligent, not that, oh, she's resilient, not that, oh, she's kind hearted. Nothing like that. Bro said it's because he had a large house, he felt empty and lonely, and he needed he needed some company. You could have called. Anyways, let me not even get into it. I was about to get into it and roast that guy, but like I said, you know what? Two-Face is not going to stress me on my channel. But yeah, hearing that was just like, again, you had an opportunity to redeem yourself from the nonsense you said last episodes, a few episodes ago, and now you keep digging your hole. Like, I don't know how this guy reasons. Like, did he even go to school? But yeah, anyways, Andile seems to resonate with the silly excuse of a love story. He seems to find that like such a fairy tale kind of story, like that his response. And I'm like, okay. And it makes him want to have what they have basically. In the next scene, Kanye meets up with Zari and once again twists what Louis said to her. She tells Zari that Louis wants to basically have a baby with her, period. That's what she said. And obviously, Zari is now like questioning the kind of person Louis is because it's like, oh, okay, like That's creepy. Like, why would you say something like that? Like, you don't know me like that and stuff like that. And rightfully so. By the end of the day, it's the messenger that is the problem. But yeah, in the next scene, Andile meets up with his first baby mama now, who we find out her name is Rosette. And let me just say, once again, this chick is gorgeous. One thing I would say with Andile, aside him being a gentleman and one of my favorites in this show, he definitely knows how to pick his women. These women are gorgeous. This is baby mamas. They are pretty women. But yeah, they soon discuss their past, and Rosette clearly still has feelings for Andile. But Andile, on the other hand, seems just fine with them being co parents and being friends. And he feels like Rosette is a wild card that sometimes comes with some baggage. We soon learned that Rosette and Sebato, which is his other baby mama, like I said, they don't actually get along really well. And after some persuasion, Andile is able to convince Rosette to have a sit down with Sebato in the future to hash things out. In the next scene, it's Zari's birthday and she organizes a birthday dinner with the group. Andile invites both Rosette and Sabato. Andile invites both his baby mamas basically, and both ladies are shocked to see each other in the event because they didn't expect to see each other or come in contact with each other at such an event. Like, why would you invite your two baby mamas that you know don't get along to a group event? I'm starting to question your way of reasoning, Angela. Like, I thought you were the level-headed one. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. But he did it. This bro brought his two baby mamas to the event. So obviously that kind of already set an awkward atmosphere in um the Nzari's party and all that. So before you know it, Rosette and Sebato starts talking about their fallout, and we find out that it was as a result of disrespect and lack of boundaries from Rosette's side. Like, that's how Sebato felt. She felt like when she was dating Andile, Rosette wasn't really like having boundaries with him. She would call him at odd times of the night to come and help her with something. And mind you, at this time also, Rosette was in a relationship. So it's like, why are you calling my boyfriend, your baby daddy, obviously, to your house when you already know that he's dating me? Calling him at odd hours or like just, not respecting her boundaries basically. And I understand that, like, yeah, we women will understand that nobody would want anybody to like step on boundaries or anything. But my question is, what kind of boundaries do you set with someone that is the mother of your children? Like, I don't know. I don't have personally never been in such a situation. I don't know anyone that has been in such a situation. So I personally don't even know what kind of boundaries can even be set in that at that moment. I don't really know. But yeah, that was basically the reason for their fallout. Um, Before you know it, things soon get heated between them and awkward at the table. But thankfully, Swanky walks in right in that moment, dressed to the gods in his regalias and his chains and his jewelries, the regular swanky style. They soon go on to celebrate Zari, and during the course of the event, Swanky starts poking at Louis and like trying to rile him up. Louis soon gets frustrated and calls Swanky out for being fake. Swanky clearly can't take the heat and decides to leave the table. And obviously, as he's leaving, he's like saying all sorts of things to Louis and cussing at him and all that. And he's like,
You were poking at this dude, he responded to you, and now you're walking away.
okay. But yeah, that's where the episode ends. And yeah, I'll be going into the next and final episode for this review. Like, that I'll be reviewing the last episode I'll be reviewing for this review. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think so far. If you like what you're hearing and you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to subscribe also in the process and turn on your post notifications. And yeah, let's get into the next episode. So episode 7 continues off with the party. Obviously, the party, Zari's birthday party, ends awkwardly after that, and soon after, the group plans a trip to Cape Town. They also arrive Cape Town and meet up for dinner and try to squash the beef between Louis and Swanky. Swanky, during the process of like their gathering, once they get to Cape Town, hands Louis a gift, And in the gift bag, we soon find out there is a T-shirt that says 78 persons in you, be real. Basically saying Louis has 78 personalities in him and that he should be real. Truly, the person that should be wearing that shirt is the one that gave the gift, because you are the one. I don't even know. You seem to have infinity personalities because you're one person one day and that person the next.
655 people the next.
Like, we can't predict you, we can't predict your reactions to things. You act very irrationally, you act very unhinged. Like, you are the one that really should be wearing that shirt, if we're being honest. So that was just a very tacky and low down dirty thing that he did, and yeah, it was just very disgusting to see. And obviously his castmates felt the same way I feel about what he did. Anyways, the dinner ends weird after that and they all soon leave. The next day, Angela meets up with Louis to get to know him more and try to understand him better. During the process, Louis ends up opening up about his family dynamics and how, like, 7 years ago when he was in Big Brother Africa, he had sex in the Big Brother house, and obviously his family watched it, his church members watched it or whatever, or found out, and because of that he got excommunicated from his church and also excommunicated from his family. And ever since then, his conversations or his level of communication with his family has not been the same because of that. It's been like a stigma weighing on him, and yeah, basically he doesn't speak to his family as much as a regular person would. And that's honestly very sad to hear, because I can't imagine how that made him feel. How, like, growing up like that, like, just made him feel like he must have felt alone in certain situations. And it also makes us understand as viewers, and also made Angley understand why um Louis has this impulsive, like, um feeling to adopt a child or have a child of his own soon, because obviously he wants that family dynamic. Who wouldn't want it? He wants to have a family of his own, a child of his own, and treat that child with all the love that he didn't have necessarily growing up at some point in his life. So I definitely feel like I understood Louis better, and honestly, that part just got me teary eyed watching it. And also made me understand why he was going really hard on, like, Fantana then. Like, oh, you want to be known for something positive. You don't want your association with Diamond to just be like, oh, she's a side chick, oh, she's sleeping with him and stuff like that. So definitely also made me understand why he was giving Fantana the advice that she shouldn't, like, make her destroy her image basically because of a thing with Diamond. So yeah, I like those kind of level of vulnerabilities in, like, reality shows, because that also makes us the viewers know that, you know, this is what separates them from an actual series, an actual movie. They're okay, maybe 60% putting on a show for us, trying to get us entertained, but at the end of the day, we're also seeing a part of these people's lives, and these people are actually human beings with feelings and are also going through things that normal human beings go through. They have issues too. So I definitely like that we saw this part of Louis, and comment down below if you guys feel the same way. And this is also part of the reasons why I personally also like Andile. I feel like he is that voice of reason. He is that person that would want to know both sides of the story. He's that person that won't take sides until he has heard both sides and he makes his own decision on who to trust. I just like that about him. He's a very neutral type of person. And aside him, I think I also feel the same way about Kaylee. Like, him and Kaylee are one of my favorites in the show. And yeah, I was just definitely happy that Andile gave Louis a chance to share that, not just with himself, but also with the public, us the viewers. And yeah, I like that. But yeah, later that evening, Antley has a conversation with Swanky and clocks him on basically the BS. Like, obviously, like, you are being very harsh on this guy. If you actually knew what this guy has gone through in his life, I'm sure you'd be easier on him and, like, won't be picking on him basically. And of course, Swanky initially is like, no, 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 like, he's lying to you, he's lying to you. But eventually, deep down, I'm sure he knows what he did. I'm sure he knows that he's the reason why this is going on right now. He then has, like, I know, some thoughts obviously to, like, have a conversation at the end of the day with Louis. But yeah, later on that night they all go on a boat ride and Louis finally speaks his mind on everything that's been going on, and clears all the confusion in the room regarding all the stories that have been flying around him wanting Zari's eggs, about his whole situation with Bonang. Like he just clears the air basically with everyone. Swanky then apologizes for antagonizing him and encourages Louis to speak up more and tell his truth. Boy, shut up. You shouldn't be the one giving that kind of advice. You don't even be telling the truth, so stop it. You're the reason why this guy was antagonized. He is the one that's actually being antagonized. Yes, not your friend Bonang. You antagonized him for the longest time. And how do you expect him to open up when he's just new in the cast?
You didn't make the environment comfortable for him to open up. So why would he open up knowing fully well that he's just meeting you guys for the first time and just associating himself with you guys for the first time? So please, let's not act like, oh, Louis all of a sudden was just closed off. You guys didn't give him a chance, and you especially didn't give him a chance. You made it unbearable for him, made it freaking annoying t-shirts for him, and yeah, like, don't come here saying he should speak his truth and tell his truth and speak up. When you were always shouting every time he had tried to have a chance to speak. Never let him speak, never let him get a word out. So please.
Now I'm getting a bit heated because, yeah, like it was just so annoying to watch. But, anyways, in the process, Louis shares his life story again, and this time to the entire group, and they are all at a loss of words. They all feel bad for prejudging him and are happy that he shared such a personal experience with them. And I am also happy that he shared such a personal experience with us also and invited us into this part of his life. My feelings, however, about the whole situation was that I feel like they could have held Swanky a bit more accountable for his actions.
Because for like majority of the season, Swanky has been going on a I don't know, a quest to try and take down Louis or like try and make him the bad guy. When now you find out that the guy, like whatever the guy's story is, this was the opportunity to take ownership for the things you did and like take accountability for the things you said and the role you had to play in all this nonsense and all this foolishness. So I just feel like that was very tacky of him when Louis was pouring his own heart out, even though he didn't need to. You could have also said something and you could have also been honest at that moment.
That shows your character. But yeah, anyways, Kaylee and Quentin share a nice romantic time at the beach front, and they both feel like their relationship has been a sunshine and rainbow situation for a year now. But Kaylee still wants some sort of commitment from Quentin. Quentin says Kelly is the one for him. However, he doesn't feel like committing fully yet because of his fear of past history with like his marriages and his relationships in general. He's scared that he's going to have commitment issues, and if he decides to like tie the knots with Kaylee and marry her, he feels like he's just going to end up like how his previous marriages ended up, and that's just a bizarre way of thinking. Like,
if you say she's the one for you, why don't you feel confident enough to, marry her and actually stay loyal to her or whatever, and work through your issues and actually make the marriage like successful? Like, I don't know.
it just felt like a bunch of crap, and yeah, I can't really take them seriously, honestly, because I feel like for this season, even though we knew in season one that their relationship was very rocky, it was just very funny how they entered into this new season like acting like, oh,
Complete transformation, like, oh my god, they're all over the moon. Oh, Quentin is like so romantic now, and Quentin does this and Quentin does that, and like our relationship is better than ever. Like, girl, please.
you couldn't even show your life this whole season. Like, I feel like we never really got a one-on-one like we were getting in season one with them. Like, we never got a counseling session like we did in season one. We never really got a one-on-one conversation with them. We never really saw them hang out alone. It was only in like group settings we saw Quentin and Kaylee. So how are we supposed to believe that truly your relationship has been blossoming, like you said, when we barely see you guys? You guys were actually behaving, or it seemed like you guys were like part-time characters in this season. So we the viewers can't really tell if your relationship is as solid as you guys say. And if it is as solid as you guys say, getting committed or like marrying each other or him proposing to you won't even have been a question type of thing. Quentin would have been sure by now if you guys' relationship was as solid as you guys are saying. But anyways, he says he loves her, he says she's the one, but he just doesn't want to commit. Maybe people have commitment issues. I don't know. I personally would not stay for that type of relationship. I personally would have walked away years ago if I was Kaylee, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Comment down below what you guys think. But yeah, after his sit down with Kaylee, he obviously sees and realizes how important like a proposal or a marriage is to her, like some level of commitment is to her. So he decides to consult Kanye on the matter and on what to do to reassure Kaylee that she's truly the one for him and he's really serious with them and stuff like that. She then advises Quentin to do a trailer proposal for Kaylee, and that's basically a preview of what to expect of an actual proposal. Quentin obviously finds this idea very bizarre, and personally, I find it very bizarre because why do a trailer proposal when you could just do the actual thing? Like, that just sounds very stupid, but yeah, she advised him to do that. He ended up going with the advice, and at the end of the episode, he does the trailer proposal, and Kaylee says yes to the proposal. I don't know. Yeah, she says yes to the proposal. I personally would never say yes to a trailer proposal. What is that? This is not a movie. This is not a documentary. There shouldn't be any trailer in our life. It should be how it is and just how we're living it. There should be no pre thing of our relationship. It just makes me feel like if I was in her shoes, I would feel like he's taking the relationship as a joke. Because why are you doing a trailer proposal for me? Like, what is that?
Who does that?
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the episode, and that's the end of this video as well. Oh, I feel like I didn't even do that bad. Like, I think it's about like this video is gonna be about like 30 minutes, which isn't too bad actually. That's not bad for three episodes. I'm really happy I did that. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. If it was going to be longer than 30 minutes, I probably would have broken it down. But now that the video is actually like not too long, I think I'll just keep 3 episodes review. Next week or next time I review this series, um, I that will be the last review of the particular season because it's just 2 episodes that will be left now for me to review. And yeah, I have something else planned in store for like Young Famous and African, like something I want to do for my channel regarding them, but I'm not going to let that secret out of the bag yet. I'm going to keep it a secret. But yeah, you guys should stay tuned for my video after the next video on Young Famous and African, what I'm going to do in the channel. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.